in Joliet, Illinois, down on ATI Field here at Joliet Memorial Stadium. Time for some soccer. St. Francis against Olivet Nazarene University. Welcome to the broadcast and welcome to the game as it has begun. St. Francis takes the first kick. They're in white with the yellow shorts and going from left to right. On your screen here in the first half, they'll be shooting into the south goal as they kick it out of bounds. Olivet will take control. Olivet in the purple uniforms with those big white, easy-to-read numbers, which is always nice. Heading from right to left and shooting into the north goal here in the first half. 45 minutes or thereabouts on the clock for this first half, and it's the home opener for the Fighting Saints today. Happy to have you with us. Terry Bonadonna on the call. Knocked out of bounds and last touched by Olivet as that one was plunked off of Katie Canute. It is Olivet taking over on the defensive end. Mounds of snow line the sidelines here, vestiges of what has been a long, cold February, but it's actually a beautiful day with the sun shining and actually perfect soccer weather today with the temperature hovering right around 50 degrees. Ball played at midfield right now, taken by the Tigers of Olivet. They work it back to the defensive side. Olivet's starting lineup today includes Abby Cash, Sarah Leichinger, Katie Canute, Camille Cody, Julie Herman, Sarah Buda, Allison Lee, Marissa Anderson, Kelsey Reed, and Susanna Lindquist. They're trying to move across midfield right now, pushing it off towards the far side. Kelsey Reed kicks it across midfield, deflected right back by the St. Francis defense. For the Fighting Saints today, it's Olivia De La Rosa in the starting lineup, along with Madison Hanyon, Alexa Valencia Corona, Alexis Marroquin. Saints working at midfield right now. Haley Hogue, Litzy Mendez, Lauren Pekulski, Grace Giallo, Mary Kate Heineck, and Kelly Petrowski make up the rest of the starting lineup for the Fighting Saints and their first-year head coach, Al Pilar, in his first game patrolling the sidelines in Joliet. Both St. Francis and Olivet Nazarene have begun their seasons on the road. Both teams are 2 games in. Saints try to make the attack, stood up by the Olivet defense. Worked over on the near side to Abby Cash. Cash coming along the sideline, pushes it ahead to the outside. Katie Canute loses control of it. And it's taken by the Fighting Saints. This is Kelly Petrowski. Tapped back by Petrowski. Neither team yet has mounted an attack, nearly 3 minutes into the action. Feeling each other out in the early going. Didn't give you information on the goalkeepers yet. For the Fighting Saints, it's Yadira Estrada in net. She's starting for the second time this year. Allowed 1 goal in 45 minutes played in her first game. Actually, she came in the second half in that game, so this is actually her first start. It's her second appearance of the year. So again, she was in goal for the second half last time around, allowed 1 goal in what turned out to be a 4-0 loss. That was against St. Ambrose about a week and a half ago. Free kick into the box. Yadira Estrada chases it over towards the back line and lets it roll out. So a chance for Olivet on the free kick there, but nothing comes of it. And the Fighting Saints will get the kick from the goalie's box here. In her one half of soccer, Yadira Estrada allowed 1 goal, ended up with 2 saves against St. Ambrose. So she stopped 2 of the 3 shots that came her way. And now getting a chance out of the gate after Ellie Provo started the first 2 matches this year. Lobbed inbounds by Olivet. They've got it right around midfield. Kelsey Reed works her way forward. Reed tries to push it into the middle of the field, looking for Marissa Anderson, but it's intercepted by St. Francis. Here's Olivia De La Rosa losing control. Petrowski tried to step up from the midfield, but possession is secured by Olivet. Only briefly, though, as the ball is pushed a little bit too far out in front of Susanna Lindquist and into the waiting hands of Yadira Estrada. Saints push it back the other way. Starting goalkeeper for Olivet Nazarene today is Samantha Took, starting her second game of the season. She split time over the first 2 games with J.C. Wright, and Took gets the start in game number 3. Samantha Took allowed 2 goals in her first start this year, 8 saves made. Julie Herman tries to get that one towards the net, but rolls weakly into the hands of Yadira Estrada. We're just about 5 minutes in here. Not a whole lot of action so far. Neither goalkeeper has had to work too hard. Olivet trying to apply a little pressure right now. The ball has spent the majority of the action so far on this side of the field. But the St. Francis defense has stayed strong so far as that ball's tossed into the box, poked in towards the net and in over the head of Yadira Estrada. Julia Herman scores the first goal of the game just over 5 minutes in. So Olivet Nazarene strikes first on this sunny Saturday afternoon. Julie Herman, the sophomore midfielder out of Normal, Illinois, got in deep and just a little bit too tall for Yadira Estrada as she lofted it over the goalkeeper's head and in to make it 1-0. So our scoring has begun, and it does not go the home team's way. St. Francis will try to work their way forward a little bit more fervently now. They have not launched any kind of attack. Just seconds before that goal, I mentioned that neither team really had any kind of attack going so far, but the majority of the action has been on the other side of the field, and St. Francis would like to change that here. There's the cross in front of the net and easily picked up by Samantha Took. Sophomore goalkeeper rolls it out in front of her. Saints take it right back. Mary-Kate Heineck taps it back and now pushed ahead. On the far side of the field in the direction of Alexis Marroquin, but nothing happening. Well defended by the Fighting Saints so far. This time down the field, Lauren Pokolsky holds her ground and stands up Katie Canute. Sarah Leukinger ahead for the Tigers. Leukinger taps it back. This is Abby Cash. Cash sends it into the box and well wide of the net. Good 15 feet outside of the post, and Yadira Estrada was able to just watch it sail out. In the 6th minute of the game, Julie Herman scored off an assist from Abby Cash, and that got our scoring started. That's where we sit right now, just a couple of minutes later. Saints defense getting involved once again. It's Pokolsky rolling it into the middle of the field. Haley Hogue. Nearly taken away there by Susanna Lindquist, but the Saints are able to keep it on their side thanks to Kelly Petrowski. Far side of the field, St. Francis works their way up to midfield, poked away by Olivet. Petrowski tried to give the big kick downfield, quickly deflected back by Lindquist, though. And now Lindquist on the move for Olivet. Lindquist works her way beyond Pokolsky, down to the corner, looking for the cross, and Pokolsky does step in this time and knock it away. Out of bounds, it's down for a corner kick for the Tigers. Abby Cash sets it up. And the kick is away. It's a short one and deflected right back out of bounds. I think Mary-Kate Heineck was the first one to touch that ball. She sent it right back where it came from, and Abby Cash will set it up again. We'll get a second consecutive corner kick. 36 minutes, 40 seconds to play in the first half. Olivet in position, trying to double their lead. This time the corner goes deep to the back post, hit up into the air and out of bounds. Camille Cody, I think, was the one who put her foot on that ball and deflected it out. So two very different corner kicks from Abby Cash. One very short on the ground. The other one she lofted off to the back post, and both the same results as it was deflected out of bounds by one team and then the other. Foul called on Olivet. St. Francis sets it up for the kick. Grace Giallo. She's a junior defender from Plainfield. She sends it down across midfield. Here's Petrowski. Back to Haley Hogue, who rolls it towards the near sideline. Lauren Pekulski with two purple shirts around her, taps it back. Madison Hanyon sends it down the sideline. A battle for that ball around the sideline. Alexa Valencia Corona trying to win it for St. Francis, but Olivet sends it back the other way onto the offensive end. To midfield, and Fighting Saints are able to push it into the attacking third of the field. Nobody in control of the ball right now, though, as it is sent away by Camille Cody. Nice work by Olivet's defenseman. Susanna Lindquist works her way forward for Olivet. Over to Abby Cash on the near sideline. Deflected by Cash towards that line. Tigers working forward once again. That ball gets past Lindquist and rolls into the box. Yadira Estrada is able to step up and scoop that loose ball off the ground. Just over 10 minutes in, it's 1-0 Olivet on the 6th-minute goal by Julie Herman. We're getting a feed here. Is it just not showing up on YouTube? Yeah. Did you test it with the same name? Maybe it's not showing up because, have you done that before? It should work, right?
Yeah.
Is it possible that it's the two games going at once doesn't work?
No, because it's a whole different channel.
Okay.
Following us, Marcus. I know why the broadcast is up. I tested it before the game at work. That was, you're right in the middle. 18. 18 with the shell end goal. Same amount, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if, do you know if there's they give the link here? Maybe it's just not showing up on the channel, but the link is actually working.
Because I tested the link.
Mm-hmm. One to nothing, Olivet on top. 31 minutes to play in the first half. St. Francis in control on the defensive end. It's Lauren Pokolsky. Back to Madison Hanyon, who lofts it across midfield, headed right back the other way by Abby Cash. Olivet able to take control on the defensive side, right in the middle of the field on the far sideline. Played into the middle, Cash once again. Cash picked up the assist on the earlier goal that gave Olivet the 1-0 lead. Deflected back by St. Francis, and Olivet keeps control on the attacking side. Marissa Anderson intercepted. Kelly Petrowski takes it away for the Saints. Ahead for Mary-Kate Heineck, and she can't quite keep it in bounds. So it's out for an Olivet throw-in. Cash tosses in right in front of her to Sarah Leuchinger. Back onto the defensive end. Allison Lee crosses field. Goes over to Kelsey Reed on the far side. Right at midfield, Marissa Anderson. Now Cash, Olivet taking their time on this possession, just keeping the ball away from St. Francis right now. It's something they've done pretty successfully throughout the first half, as the foul is called on the Fighting Saints. Sets up a free kick about 10 yards beyond midfield for Olivet. Tigers haven't had too many dangerous attacks today. Other than their goal, they haven't had any good shots on Yadira Estrada, but they've done a great job of holding on to the possession throughout the first nearly 20 minutes of this game. Good defense there by St. Francis. On the far side of the field, Alexis Mariquin working the ball forward. Knocked out of bounds by Mariquin, but good initial effort just standing up the Olivet attack. They're on the attack once again. Leuchinger turns to try to send it towards the net, but deflected back by the Fighting Saints defense, up into the air and cleared by the Saints. 1-on-2 in the middle of the field, and Olivet keeps possession once again. Leuchinger goes back to Allison Lee. At midfield, it's Abby Cash. Cash working along the near side. Into the teeth of the defense. Nice through ball, but a little bit too far out in front of Katie Canute as it rolls out of bounds. Got it through the defense, but pushed her a little bit too far ahead. And so she ends up turning it back to the Saints, but Kelly Petrowski off of her second touch loses it to Olivet. However, the Leuchinger shot is well wide of the net off to the right side. And that'll give Yadira Estrada the free kick. There's Estrada's goal kick near midfield. Sent back by the Olivet defense, and Olivet trying to take control of possession here. Camille Cody loses it out of bounds. Back to St. Francis. Tossed in and intercepted by Olivet. Pushing forward again. St. Francis defense remains busy, but once again they remain strong as they prevent any further attack, knocking the ball out. Still on the Olivet side of the field in their attacking zone. Tossed in, down into the corner for Sarah Buda. Trying to turn and cross it, but unable to do so. Well defended once again. Lost out of bounds by Olivia De La Rosa that time. Reed tosses it back in for the Tigers. Down along the back line, they try to keep it in bounds, but can't do it. It stays out along that back line, and that sets up a goal kick. 26.5 minutes to play. We're in the first half here in Joliet, the home opener this season for St. Francis. Started the year on the road back in November with a win, but their lone game so far in the spring portion of the schedule was a road loss to St. Ambrose. That was earlier this month, about a week and a half ago. In the middle of the field, Olivet's side of the field. A fight for the ball and won by the Tigers. Here's Leukinger passing it back to the defensive line. Allison Lee trying to work her way forward, runs into some pressure. And pass back all the way to the goalkeeper, Samantha Took, who is a solid 20 yards outside of the box. Anderson ahead for Buddha, knocked back by St. Francis. But Olivet retains possession, moves it ahead once again. That's Allison Lee pushing back over to Anderson. Anderson working her way down close to the sideline, ahead to Cash. Abby Cash slows things down, keeps it at midfield, and pushes off towards the far side. Once again, Olivet goes back to the defensive side. Lee over to the near side, and Abby Cash. Cash is looking ahead of her. Didn't have anybody there. Deflected back by the St. Francis defense. Cash gets it back. Good interception right there by the Fighting Saints. Litzy Mendez in on the defense. Pushed ahead down the sideline and out of bounds. .24 minutes, 20 seconds to play in the first half. A substitution for the Tigers. They bring Janine Valera in off the bench. Tossed in by Cash to the back line of the defense. All that pushing their defense up as they've been able to keep possession of the ball most of the game so far, but just the 1-goal lead for the Tigers so far. Tapped out there by Grace Giallo. Olivet in control on defense. Their entire defense now pushed up across midfield. Their goalkeeper, Took, stands just about 10 yards short of midfield. And they keep the attack on. Going forward towards the middle. The ball is loose and knocked away temporarily by St. Francis. Olivet gets it back. While slipping, Anderson fires a shot in from long range and an easy pickup for Yadira Estrada. Anderson trying to make something happen from about 30 yards out. And an easy save for Estrada. But Olivet on the attack once again. Down in the corner looking for the cross. Knocked away by Pokulski. Still loose in front of the net. Deflected back towards the back line and out of bounds. It's going to be a goal kick for the Fighting Saints. There's an injured player down for St. Francis. Haley Hogue appears to be okay. She pulls herself up. They've had the wind knocked out of her. It's a slight cramp. And her hands over her head, but she's okay. And she stays in the game as Estrada sets the ball up on the far side of the box, ready to send it away. Goal kick for the Saints. Trailing 1-0 with about 22 minutes to go in the first half, just over halfway through this first period. Sent downfield, deflected back towards midfield, along the sideline and out of bounds, and the last one to touch that was wearing white. Ball tossed in by the Tigers, and right back out of bounds. They'll do it again. Tigers work the ball to midfield. Cash ahead to Leukinger. Canute on the near sideline. Tapped back once again to the defense. A battle for the ball at midfield. A couple of bodies flying, but St. Francis keeps possession. And more contact. Another body hits the ground, but no whistle blown as both teams had a player fall to the turf there within the matter of seconds of each other, but just good physical play. Nothing dirty, and so no fouls called. Olivet takes possession on the near sideline. On the defensive end, working it ahead to midfield. Pokulski gives it up to Mendez, and Hynek knocks it out of bounds. Tossed in by Cash to Leuchinger. Mendez again steps in defensively. Good battle for the ball between Leuchinger and Mendez, and they got their legs tangled up. Sarah Leuchinger called for the foul. Nearly tripping up Litzy Mendez there. The Fighting Saints will get the free kick from just shy of midfield along the near side. Madison Hanyon takes the kick. Deep down the field, headed into the air by Olivet. And deflected back the other way. Now a trip and a foul called on Kelly Petrowski. Leuchinger is the one who hit the ground that time, just moments after she had been called for a foul on her side. "20 minutes to play in the first half. Out of bounds to the Fighting Saints on the far sideline, right at midfield. Melting snow on the far side on that track creates some wet circumstances, even though it's sunny and dry on the field. The balls, anytime they roll out of bounds, are getting a little waterlogged, so watch for that on the throw-ins, even though they're not necessarily throwing in the same ball always that gets knocked out as the Saints make their move into the box. This is about as deep as the Saints have gotten into Olivet territory and maintained a possession today. Mendez rolls it into the box, and there's nobody there in white, so an easy pickup for Samantha Tuke, the Olivet Nazarene goalkeeper. Tigers make their move. Janine Valera taps it back to Sarah Buda. And as has been the case throughout most of the game, Olivet in no hurry, just trying to hold on to possession. Saints work to get it back. Olivia De La Rosa loses it. And the loose ball is won by Allison Lee. Back to midfield for Olivet. Lee from the back line. Crosses it over to Julie Herman. Herman, left side defender. Tries to make the stop. Mary-Kate Heineck ran right into her. Heineck hit the ground. She's back up. And play continues forward for Olivet. Cash ahead for Canute. She works her way down to the corner. Can't quite make it to it. So just a little bit too far in front of her. Inches in front of her. She nearly caught that ball, but came up just a tad short. It's out of bounds for a Fighting Saints throw-in. And the Fighting Saints make a substitution here. Natalie Salgado, junior transfer from Morton College, is in as Mary-Kate Heineck hit the ground a moment ago, rubbing the back of her neck as she heads to the bench for a little bit of a rest. Tossed in by Abby Cash. Into Buda. Knocked away by the, excuse me, that was Valera, not Buda, but point remains the same. It was knocked away by the Fighting Saints. Olivet gets it back. Tossed in by Cash to Leuchinger. Leuchinger spins around a couple of defenders, keeps working her way forward. De La Rosa gets in her way, knocks it out of her reach and out of bounds, and that did go out the back line. Just by the matter of inches there, the back line instead of the sideline, which means rather than a throw-in, we're going to get a corner kick here with just over 17 minutes to play in the first half. The kick goes short and high. Out to Anderson. Madison Hanyon steps in Anderson's way and knocks it out of bounds. Nice defense by Madison Hanyon. Good defending. Cash tosses it in right to the back line and immediately poked straight out of bounds by Janine Valera. So Olivet loses out on that opportunity. Let's see if they are able to keep the ball on this side of the field. They've had a couple of chances here, and they do get it back. They'll have another chance. Valera takes the shot, and it sails well wide. Couldn't quite curl it the way that she wanted to. And so Yadira Estrada, who stuck with it for the first few steps, turned her head and watched it drift out of bounds. Harmlessly for the Fighting Saints, who still trail by just the one goal. Despite Olivet's dominating of possession time here early in this game. Saints defense has played very well. Valera pushes it towards the sideline, looking for Knut. She's got her. She tries to cross it as she slips and can't keep it alive. Deflected, but back to Olivet Nazarene. The header from Leuchinger is high and wide and out of bounds. So they come up empty on that try. Yadira Estrada's got it set up for the goal kick. St. Francis trails by 1, trying to bring some offensive firepower to this one. Their defense has been excellent thus far. Haven't been able to turn it into any attacks on the other side. Here's Kara Jacobs working her way forward for Olivet. Now lost in the middle of the field. Kelly Petrowski is there to track down that loose ball. Olivia De La Rosa not quite able to secure that pass from Valeria Valles Garcia.
Their passing, their patience, everything is so good right now. Oh yeah.
Here's Marissa Anderson.
So you watched last game?
Anderson head down the sideline trying to hook up with Kara Jacobs, but Jacobs not quite fast enough to retrieve that ball. Too strong on the pass. Saints get the throw in. Back to Madison Hanyon. Bukolski along the sideline. Hanyon again. Just over the head of Olivia De La Rosa. Valles Garcia was there briefly, not able to keep possession for the Fighting Saints, though, as the clock winds down to 14.5 minutes. This is Valles Garcia getting bumped. Now the foul called on Olivet. Here's Kelly Petrowski on the free kick, waiting for her team to get downfield a little bit. Alejandra Garcia clearing the way for Olivet Nazarene. Petrowski gives a big kick deep down the far sideline. Headed once towards that back corner and kept alive by the Fighting Saints. Knocked away, though, well defended by Allison Lee. Tipped out of bounds that time by Olivet Nazarene. Still St. Francis possession in the attacking third of the field. Just one shot on goal so far for the Fighting Saints. We'll see if they can add a few to that as a whistle blows and a foul is called as Alexis Mariquin gets pushed. Free kick now for St. Francis in a pretty fortuitous spot. It's about 25 yards out, though, deep down the sideline.
And Marissa's just standing there like, what happened? And the ball's still there.
Mendez looking for the cross here.
And then she realized nobody's here.
There's the approach and the kick. Gets it in front of the net. Kick back towards the back line. De La Rosa tries to keep it in bounds and is unsuccessful in doing so. So it ends up out for a goal kick, but good to see the Saints on the attack there. We haven't seen a lot of that in the first half. They've played well in the midfield and on the defensive end, but haven't been able to sustain a possession in the attacking zone. They did right there. Didn't end up with a shot on goal out of it, but they made Olivet's defense sweat a little bit. So that's a step in the right direction as we start to get late in the first half. Clock running down towards about 12.5 minutes to play here before halftime. And the Saints trying to at very least make sure it's still just a one-goal game as Valera has a run at it, and it's knocked out of bounds by St. Francis. It's going to be a corner kick. But Lauren Bukolski did about all she could right there. There was a foot race between Bukolski and Janine Valera. Had Valera gotten there first, she would have had a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Bukolski was able to cut her off, even though it is a corner kick. She prevented that free run. Ball is set up for Leukinger. Here's the kick in front of the net. Goes past everybody and is cleared by Natalie Salgado. Salgado now races up to the ball, trying to knock it out of bounds. Knock it downfield, actually. She did knock it out of bounds. Not exactly what she wanted to do, but at least she took possession away for a brief moment from Olivet. Tigers working to get it back, and they do. A turn and a shot, weakly hit towards the back line and well out of bounds. That was Camille Cody, who didn't get much on that one and easily pushed it wide of the net, out for a goal kick.
Well, that's a beautiful day. So I take it you're not coming. Yeah, I think there's maybe three. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there might be 5 subs here for the most.
Estrada down the far side. Kept alive by Olivet. Camille Cody can't keep it in bounds, though. Pass sent back in for St. Francis to Alexis Mariquin. A battle for possession at midfield. St. Francis keeps it alive. Petrowski pops it in the air over everybody's head down the middle of the field, but chased down by the Tigers. Here's Kelsey Reed forcing it downfield to Valera. Ball deflected out to Kara Jacobs, and Jacobs taps it back to her defense. Abby Cash in control, reverses field for Olivet, and they're working off the far side now. Olivia De La Rosa steps in front of Allison Lee and forces Lee to change her battle plan as she turns around and taps it backwards again. Olivet still in control from the defensive side. Now they work it up into the midfield and across the midfield line. Pushed ahead by Cody and deflected back by St. Francis. Petrowski taps it to the outside, gets it back, and gets by one Olivet defender. Now the Saints are on the run. Petrowski looking to get it through. Good ball ahead to Mendez. Mendez taps it in front of her and right into the hands of Samantha Took, who's able to make the stop. Good looking run for Litzy Mendez and the Fighting Saints there. Comes up a little bit short. Valles Garcia was looking for the pass there at the end of that play. Couldn't quite find her. Coming in from the near side. We're under 10 minutes to play in the first half. 1-0 Olivet on an early goal. They scored just a little bit over 5 minutes in. Julie Herman, midfielder, was able to loft one just out of the reach of Yadira Estrada. Since then, it's been an evenly matched game, but Olivet plays with the lead as they look to extend it. Taken away by Mendez, and Mendez sends it towards the sideline where Pekulski plays it for the Fighting Saints. Pekulski gets it ahead to Salgado, who's shoved in the back by Abby Cash. And a foul is called against Olivet. Their sophomore defender heads back into position as the Saints get a chance to work the ball downfield on the free kick. Right along the sideline here, shy of midfield by a few yards. Kick is taken by Madison Hanyon. Over the head of the intended target, deflected back by the head of a Tiger and out of bounds. Last touch by St. Francis. Olivet will get the throw in. Valera's attempted through ball deflected by Hanyon, preventing it from getting through. Jacobs ahead to Cody and right back to Jacobs. Jacobs down into the corner, working against Pekulski. Tapped ahead to Abby Cash. Cash trying to get around Pekulski, turns for the cross, and Yadira Estrada lets it go as she watches that ball hit the side of the net. Couldn't quite straighten it out. And the ball goes back St. Francis's direction. Along the far side, they go short on this goal kick, trying to work it ahead from the defensive end. Olivia De La Rosa poked away from behind. Back to Olivet. This is Valera. Now downfield, and there's nobody there. Looking maybe for Jacobs. Jacobs was stationed well behind that play, though. And St. Francis gets the throw in. Deflected right back out of bounds by the Fighting Saints. Olivet throws it in. Abby Cash down into the box, overthrew Leukinger, cleared by Hogue and out of bounds. Just under 7 minutes to play now in the first half. St. Francis done a good job holding their own on defense, and at this point, if they go into halftime down 1-0, I think they'd be happy with that, knowing their defense played a strong 45 minutes of soccer, including on that play, when they force Olivet to knock the ball out of bounds for a goal kick. If they can play a strong 45 minutes, give up just the one goal, and head into the break down by only one. It'd be a good situation for them to then start to regroup on the offensive side. Angelina Rodriguez comes in. Olivia De La Rosa, pass deflected and taken back by Olivet. Sent in by Valera, looking for Canute, but it's knocked away by the Fighting Saints defense, and player down for Olivet. No whistle yet, but She's still down on her knee, so at the next stoppage, they'll take a look at her as the ball is rolled out of bounds by Pekulski. Maybe something bleeding on Katie Canute as she's rubbing her face, looking down at her hand. So her mouth might be bleeding a little bit as she was knocked to the ground on that last play. Settled down on one knee before the ball went out of bounds. She could call for some help from the trainer. 6 minutes, or make that 5 minutes and 42 seconds to play with the clock stopped. This is the first time the clock has stopped in this first half. It's been a pretty smoothly played half. Always nice when there's not many injuries. Sarah Buda comes back in, and she'll play while they take a look at Katie Canute over on the sideline. Here's Cash.
Yep.
Cash rolls it into the middle of the field. And it's taken away by Litzy Mendez. Mendez pushes ahead for Kelly Petrowski. Petrowski with two defenders in tow slows things down. Nice control there by Petrowski. Never saw that third defender coming in from the backside, though. Marissa Anderson snuck up from her, from behind her, I should say. And Olivet has possession once again. Here comes Alejandra Garcia. Garcia sends it to the sideline, and Abby Cash, and Cash can't get there. It's out of bounds for the Saints. Actually, they'll work it back. There was a foul up further down the field before that ball was sent out of bounds. So a free kick for Madison Hanyon. Hanyon's kick along the near side, deflected back the other way by Sarah Leukinger. Poked into the air at midfield, won by Olivet. This is Jacobs on the near sideline. Jacobs hugging that sideline as she takes it in towards Pekulski and rolls it to the middle of the field, and Valera.
Yes.
Now across right in front of the net. This is Sarah Buda trying to get a shot off, but Yadira Estrada is there to scoop it up. I think that shot looked like it was probably sailing a little bit wide regardless, but Estrada was there to stop it just in case, and she keeps it in bounds and sets it up for a punt here as the clock winds down under 4 minutes now. Good first half of soccer for the first time for the women's team this year, playing down on ATI Field. Allison Lee sends it to the left. Now back into the middle with Buda. Buda keeps possession as he works it back to the defensive side.
Yes.
And now ahead, past the defender, but Valera, cognizant of staying on sides, was not able to get to that ball, which kind of screamed past her like a missile. A little bit too much on that pass. And an easy pickup for Estrada once again. Kelly Petrowski has the ball muscled away from her by Sarah Leukinger, well defended by Leukinger, who passes it back to the defense, allows Allison Lee to begin the attack forward from the back line. In a sea of defenders, rolls past everybody to Valera. Back to Anderson. Anderson trying to get ahead. Anderson blows by two defenders, but the third one steps in and knocks it away. That was Haley Hogue on the stop. Olivet briefly gets it back. Now a battle in the box and cleared by the Fighting Saints. Nice team effort by the Saints defense that time. Petrowski pushes it towards the sideline, looking for Angelina Rodriguez, but it's taken back by Olivet. Leukinger knocked down by Mendez. No call as the Saints clear it once again and far down the field this time, but it rolls harmlessly out of bounds. Deep in their own territory, Olivet Nazarene will get a throw in. Just a few seconds, over 2 minutes to play in the first half. Buda at midfield. Turns and sends it ahead to Valera. Valera tries to get around Hanyon. Not able to do so, but Buda gets it back for Olivet. They go to the backside of midfield once again. Off towards the sideline, Abby Cash. Ahead for Leukinger. Now Jacobs. Jacobs works towards the net, tries to turn it inwards, and it's deflected out of bounds by the Fighting Saints. Pekulski was the one who last touched that ball before it went out for the corner kick. And with less than a minute and a half to play in the first half, this might be the last really good opportunity for Olivet right here on this corner kick. It's Leukinger. Leukinger trips up, and we've got no whistle. Let's see Mendez in on the defense. Not a lot of contact, but Leukinger did fall to the ground in the box. You have to hold your breath for a moment as a St. Francis fan, but no call made as they're able to clear it downfield. And now with under a minute to play, St. Francis will try to get their last good run towards the net. Petrowski taken away. Downfield looking for Jacobs. Hannion trying to chase it down, but Jacobs gets there first. Jacobs looks to cross it. There is the cross. Leukinger from 20 yards out, dead on, is saved by Yadira Estrada. And the Saints are able to stave off another Olivet Nazarene attack. Nice work by Yadira Estrada, who's made a couple of saves here in the first half, and Estrada will get the punt now. Downfield towards Petrowski, but taken away by Buda. Just 20 seconds to play in the first half. Can Olivet get another shot off here? Buda in the middle of the field, defended by Mendez. Knocked away at midfield. Under 10 seconds to go. Olivet trying to get it ahead, but Pokulski steps in on defense, and that will be the end of the first half. Nice work by the Fighting Saints to withstand that early attack from Olivet, but it is the Tigers on top. Julie Herman scored a goal in the 6th minute of action. Inside the box, she was able to poke it over the head of Yadira Estrada and knock it in from the left side, and that goal has stood up so far as Olivet has maintained consistent possession, but St. Francis's defense has stood strong and not allowed too many strong attacks towards the net. It is 1-0 at halftime, and I will step aside now. Back with the second half in a little bit. It's been a competitive game so far. Hopefully we get more of the same over the final 45 minutes. This is St. Francis Fighting Saints Soccer on the USF Sports Network. 45 minutes are back on the clock as we get set to start the second half of play here at ATI Field at Joliet Memorial Stadium. Welcome back to the broadcast. Terry Bonadonna with you here for another half of soccer. So far, so good for Olivet. St. Francis has not had much of an answer for the Olivet attack thus far, although their defense has played very well. They've only allowed the one goal, 1-0 the score in favor of the visiting team, but the Tigers have held on to possession for the vast majority of the game so far. Again, credit to St. Francis defense just for allowing the one goal, and not really a whole lot of great chances for Olivet in the first half. Even though they had possession for the majority of the time, they didn't get too many tough shots on Yadira Estrada. Even the goal that they scored was a ball that just kind of drifted a little bit over Estrada's head. It was a good shot from Julie Herman back in the 6th minute of play. She put some nice touch on it, and that was our only goal so far. Again, belonged to Julie Herman of Olivet Nazarene back in the 6th minute. And for Herman, it was the first goal of the season. For Olivet as a team, it was the 4th goal in 3 games played this year. They're 1-1 with a 2-1 win and a 2-1 loss. So they've been pretty consistent thus far. The two teams have reversed sides, of course, here in the second half. Olivet in possession on their offensive side of the field now, going from left to right and shooting a little bit high and over the back of the net. So it'll be a goal kick for St. Francis. The Fighting Saints are going from right to left now in this second half, and they are shooting into the north goal. Mentioned Olivet's consistency in their first 2 games, a 2-1 win, a 2-1 loss. St. Francis has been the opposite. Coming into today, they had played twice. Those 2 games separated by about 4 months. They played once in October and once in February prior to today. But those 2 games were night and day different. Their win was 3-0, and their loss more recently was 4-0 against St. Ambrose. Fighting Saints on the far side of the field. That was Valeria Valles Garcia, who had her pass deflected out of bounds, but the Saints lose it right back out, so it'll be an Olivet throw-in now. Tossed in by Alejandra Garcia on the far side and immediately sent the other way, right back to midfield. Team in purple still has control of it along the far sideline. Kicked off towards the left side, deflected by St. Francis. The ball loose in the box. A tangle up. Abby Cash fell to the ground. No call as St. Francis is able to clear it. Chased back by Garcia, and on the defensive end, this is Allison Lee rolling off to Abby Cash on the near side. Cash working her way forward, gets by Kelly Petrowski, and off to Camille Cody. Cody into the middle of the field now with Sarah Buda. And Buda rolls it back on the far side to Garcia. 2.5 minutes into the second half of play. Ball is out of bounds and a man down for Olivet. Garcia took a hit, and so the foul called before the ball went out. Free kick instead of a throw-in. Olivet rolls it into the middle. Here's Buda. Buda, one touch and cleared by Madison Hanyon. Litzy Mendez pushes it further downfield. Petrowski runs into Julie Herman. Excuse me, that was not Herman, but Marissa Anderson, who Petrowski ran into and lost the ball out of bounds, and everybody was set up for a St. Francis throw-in, but the official says not so fast. It is an Olivet throw. And again, it's Hanyon stepping in and knocking it downfield and out of bounds. Along the sideline, this is Hanyon trying to clear it for St. Francis. Good pressure from Olivet, and now sent into the box and downfield, back out of bounds. Hit by Haley Hogue. Abby Cash will toss it in again. To Anderson, back to Cash. Cash lost it off the first touch. Gives it forward, gets it back from Cody. Tripped up just outside the box. And the whistle blows. Foul is called on St. Francis. Again, that was outside the box, not by a lot. but by a foot or two. Olivet's going to get the free kick. It's not a penalty kick, but right at the edge of that penalty box, just about 18 yards out to the right side. Abby Cash is the one who will set it up. Everybody else positioned off to the far side. De La Rosa, Giallo, and Mariquin set themselves up as the wall in front of Cash. Cash starts to make her approach, now slows down. There's the whistle. Here's the kick to the back post. It is dead in the box and cleared by St. Francis. Defense holds up once again on the far end of the field. Alexa Valencia Corona is not quite able to catch up with it as the ball drifts out of bounds. Olivet throws it in. .40 minutes to play. We're 5 minutes into the second half. Still 1-0 Olivet. They've held this one-goal lead now for over 40 minutes of action. In fact, over 45 minutes of action now. They've held this lead. Olivet on the attack once again right now. Woikinger tries to cross it, but Litzy Mendez is there for the interception. Pushed ahead to Petrowski. Petrowski looking to her right. Mariquin is there. She slows it down. Pushes towards the center of the field where it's intercepted. Alejandra Garcia for Olivet. Sends it back towards the sideline. The near side for the Tigers. And they're defending third of the field. Lee rolls it back towards the middle, and Anderson. On the far end, that's Garcia. Garcia gets it off to Kara Jacobs. Jacobs taps it back, and Olivet taking their time so far in this possession, but holding on to the ball, and they spoke just a little bit too soon as Valera pushes it past everybody, and just the defense for St. Francis there with an easy clearance, but Estrada's kick goes out of bounds along the far sideline, about 35 yards off net. So on that end of the field, the Tigers throw it in. Here's Janine Valera working against Olivia De La Rosa. Taps it ahead. Back to Garcia. Garcia rolls towards the center. This is Anderson. Marissa Anderson fires a shot. It's high and out of bounds. Over the goal. And we've got a goal kick for the Fighting Saints. They trail 1-0. As I mentioned before, both of their first two games of the season ended in shutouts. One in the positive way, one in the negative. It's a good move by Knut inside, but knocked away. And the Saints are able to clear it, but nobody there from their offense, so it rolls weakly out of bounds for an Olivet throw-in. Saints are very much hoping that that trend of shutouts does not continue today. They've already missed out on their opportunity for a positive shutout, so if one team scores 0 in this game, it would be the Saints. They're looking to get on the board here in short order and make this a new game, but they haven't had too many chances against this Olivet defense. The Tigers so far have controlled the game from the midfield. Tossed in by Pekulski along the far sideline. Pekulski gets it back to Madison Hanyon. Hanyon's pass is headed back the other way by Olivet. Deflected by the Fighting Saints. It's Haley Hogue rolling it to the outside. Grace Giallo. Giallo is intercepted. Sarah Leukinger gets around De La Rosa. Now Leukinger takes the shot, and Estrada is there to knock it down. Leukinger from a solid 35 yards out tried to fire one past Estrada, but Yadira Estrada was right where she needed to be. Olivet gets it back. Nice move by Anderson to get around a couple of defenders. Rolled to the outside. This is Cody. Deflected out of bounds by Haley Hogue. It's going to be a corner kick. Saints haven't had one of these yet. I believe this is number 4 for the Tigers. Their corner kicks have not turned into goals yet. This one goes in front of the net, punched by Estrada, out of the way, and cleared, at least for the moment. Off to Kelly Petrowski. Petrowski taps it back to the defense. Pushed ahead for Mariquin by Grace Giallo, but deflected back the other way. Abby Cash's pass towards her right is deflected out of bounds. Still Olivet ball with 36 minutes to play in the second half. In front of the net, Saints working to clear it, and a foul is called on the Tigers as there was a shove in front of the goal. So the foul will give St. Francis an easy opportunity to clear it now after they had struggled to get it out of harm's way just a moment ago. There's the kick from Estrada down the center of the field, headed into the air by Kelly Petrowski and knocked back the other way by Abby Cash. Leikinger got it with the hand, so it's going the other way. Kick is away from Litzy Mendez. And it goes right into the box, and an easy pickup for Samantha Tuke, who has not been all that busy in net today. Saints had a shot on goal early, but it was not a difficult save for Tuke, and there really hasn't been much. There's one more attack late in the first half that she had to step in on, but it's been pretty uneventful on that side of the field. It was this side of the field in the first half. But all of that proving it wasn't a weather condition or a field condition that allowed them to keep the ball in the attacking zone as Leikinger takes a shot, and that drifts well wide of the net, out of bounds for a goal kick. Excuse me, that was deflected by St. Francis, so this is going to be a corner kick here. 34 minutes to play. All of that has a 1-goal lead, and they've got the corner kick here, trying to double that lead. Abby Cash sets it up. Cash sends it away to the back post, headed off the crossbar, and it stays on the field. Yadira Estrada is able to scoop it up, and the Saints catch a break as Olivet missed a goal by inches right there. Rattled between the side post and the crossbar. And it is kept out of the net. Still 1-0, Olivet Nazarene on top. And St. Francis, though they've been outplayed for most of the day, still right there, and one good run away from tying the score. Knocked out of bounds by the Saints this time. The Tigers will get a throw in. Tossed in by Garcia and headed right back to her. She sends it backwards, and Lee works it right back ahead to Garcia. Valera to the middle of the field. It's Buda. Sarah Buda, dead center. 20 yards beyond midfield. Taps it back. Anderson to the right side looking for Cody, and she can't quite get it there in time. Cody not able to keep it in bounds. It goes out for the St. Francis goal kick. Still relatively early in the second half, but so far it's played out pretty much the same way that the first half did. Olivet has controlled possession. St. Francis has stood strong on defense. The Tigers have had a few more good scoring opportunities during the first 14 minutes of the second half than they did throughout most of the first half. But the results have been the same. Allison Lee taps it off to Garcia on the left. Right back to midfield. In the circle, it's Lee. Lee changes direction, goes to Cash on her right. Cash trying to spin around Olivia De La Rosa. She taps it in front of her. This is Anderson. Olivet working deliberately here. They have not pushed it into the attacking third yet, and now they do. Head along the far sideline, that's Kara Jacobs. And Jacobs sends it wide to the left. Comes up short on that attempt. Fighting Saints get the free kick once again here as the ball went out. along the far sideline. Sarah Buda, the first one to touch that. And she sends it back to the defense for the Tigers. Now rolled back across midfield. Leuchinger loses the handle on it. Taken away by Mendez. Ahead to Valles Garcia. Valles Garcia taps it once behind her, and the Saints lose the possession out of bounds. Tossed in and nearly intercepted by the Saints, but deflected off the foot of Valencia Corona and then back off a Tiger before going out of bounds. One to nothing, Olivet leads. They scored early. And we've now gone about 55 minutes since that first goal was scored. A few seconds under 30 minutes to play in the game. Lobbed in by St. Francis. Headed back the other way. Madison Hanyon can't keep it in bounds. It goes out for a Tigers throw in. The Tigers will make a substitution. Susanna Lindquist is back in. And Camille Cody comes out. Garcia lobs it in. Buda. And back around to the other side of the field to Abby Cash. Cash's pass deflected. Taken away by Mariquin. Mariquin is halted by Canute, and now a foul called as Kelly Petrowski hits the ground. Katie Canute took her legs out from under her, and she's called for the foul. Free kick here for the Fighting Saints, trailing by 1 and trying to get themselves back into a good position to tie the score. Set up for Kelly Petrowski to take the kick, and Petrowski sends it right down the middle of the field where it's headed away by Olivet. At midfield, it's Lindquist. Lindquist pushes to the far sideline. Jacobs. Ahead to Valera. Valera against 2 defenders. Taps back to Buda. Along the sideline, Garcia sends it forward. Kept in bounds along that back line. It's Lindquist into the corner. And Jacobs can't quite find the cross, so she has to pull it back once again. Garcia rolls it behind her. We're back at midfield now. Allison Lee starts to make her move ahead once again. Deflected right back to her. Now Abby Cash. Booted ahead by Anderson and immediately intercepted and cleared by Madison Hanyon. In the middle of the pitch, it's Leuchinger working against Mendez. Mendez knocks her off the ball. Good defensive play by Mendez, and now a man down. Alexa Valencia Corona took a hit there, fell to the turf. She's okay. She gets back up, and St. Francis gets the throw in here. Just shy of midfield. Clock running down to 27 minutes to play in the second half. Olivet leads by a goal. Valencia Corona knocks it back out of bounds. Olivet will toss it in again. Garcia into Leuchinger. Now on the attack, it's Anderson. Anderson rolls it out ahead to Buda. Buda locked up in a wrestling match with Kelly Petrowski. Petrowski wins it and sends the ball to the outside, but kept in bounds by Olivet. Canute has it knocked away from her out of bounds, and she was the last one to touch it. It'll be a throw in for St. Francis. Grace Giallo tosses in front of her. Right back to Giallo along the sideline, intercepted by Cash. There's Cash's cross. Bounces once in front of Jacobs. Jacobs taps it and into the hands of Yadira Estrada. The initial cross did not find its target. Jacobs was there on the back end trying to clean it up and just didn't get a solid touch on it, allowing Estrada to get there first. Ball is sent intentionally back to Estrada this time. And Yadira Estrada rolls it to the outside. It's Grace Giallo. Back into the middle of the field. Pekulski pushes ahead. Back to Pekulski, and this time she hits it ahead a little bit more forcefully and intercepted by the Olivet defense. Saints step in and make the stop here. Litzy Mendez. Mendez turns downfield, intercepted again by the Tigers. Leukinger to her right, Abby Cash. Cash has Canute off to her right along the sideline. Well defended there, though, by the Fighting Saints as Mariquin takes it away. Now De La Rosa ahead to Valencia Corona and couldn't quite hook up with Valencia Corona. Instead, the ball goes out for an Olivet throw-in. Nope, it's a St. Francis throw-in. Valencia Corona tosses it to De La Rosa. De La Rosa tries to get it back to Petrowski, and Petrowski keeps it alive to the defensive side. Haley Hogue goes further back and off to the right. They've completely reversed field now. This is Pekulski. Hanyon gives it the boot across midfield. Intercepted by Marissa Anderson. And a foul called on St. Francis. 24:15 on the clock at the moment. So Olivet lines up for the free kick here. Abby Cash along the near side. And knocked out of bounds by St. Francis. Cash tosses it deep, and it's headed right back the other way. Kelly Petrowski, I think, was the one who headed that ball out. Down in the corner, it's a throw-in for Cash. Headed up into the air again, this time outside the box. De La Rosa looking to clear it. Anderson tries to keep it alive for Olivet, and she does, over to Lindquist. The Tigers stay on the attack. Past Lindquist, Leukinger, right in the center of the field, taken away by Petrowski. De La Rosa battling with Sarah Buda. Buda wins that battle. Gives the ball to Abby Cash, and a foul is called on the Fighting Saints. Free opportunity here for the Tigers. 40 yards out to the right of the net. Abby Cash lines it up. To the left side, headed back the other way by Hanyon. Chased down by Jacobs to keep it in bounds. Garcia. Back to midfield, and Allison Lee. She passes to the right. This is Abby Cash, and Abby Cash gets it forward to Katie Canute, who loses possession of it as she tried to roll it ahead. It's knocked out of bounds by St. Francis, and once again down in the corner, a throw-in for Olivet Nazarene. And Leukinger loses it immediately after the throw, tapped right back out of bounds. Just past the halfway point of this second half. Fighting Saints make a substitution. Angelina Rodriguez is in for Alexa Valencia Corona. Rodriguez, the sophomore, came on late in the first half, and now she'll get some second half minutes as well. Anderson taps it back, intercepted by Mendez, and Mendez, I believe, was grabbed. So the foul called against Olivet. Still 1-0 Olivet leads. Their goal now more than an hour ago in game time. St. Francis has not so far been able to mount an attack to get that equalizer. Nearly had one going right there, but it was knocked away by the Tigers and out of bounds. Still deep in Olivet territory here as St. Francis gets another throw in. So they get a chance to keep the possession alive. And the thrower is Madison Hanyon. Hanyon Saint takes her time, sizes up the situation, now throws it into the box where Anderson knocks it away. Back up the field and out of bounds. The Saints will throw in another. Tapped back by Olivet's defense and cleared by, I think that was Garcia who knocked it downfield. At midfield, Kelly Petrowski looking to control it, knocked away from her. And this is Lindquist popping the ball over the defensive line initially. Madison Hanyon chases it down and taps it back to Yadira Estrada, who eschews picking it up and instead knocks it off towards the sideline and out of bounds. Clock winds under 20 minutes to play in the game. Still a narrow lead for Olivet Nazarene, trying to capture their second one-goal victory of the season. Olivet throws it in from just ahead of midfield. On the near sideline, it's Abby Cash. Cash lobs it past Lindquist. Haley Hogue tried to clear it, but missed on her first kick attempt. Still St. Francis in possession as the ball is knocked out of bounds. Grace Giallo lines up for the throw-in. Giallo goes short to Mariquin. And Mariquin loses it out of bounds. Nice job by Hogue stepping in defensively there, and the Saints get a chance to clear it as Olivet knocks the ball out about 10 yards upfield. Headed back by Abby Cash, and De La Rosa touched it out. Olivet sends it back the other way. Overthrown for Lindquist, and Hogue let it go out. Was able to get in front of Lindquist and then watch the ball keep on rolling, so it's out for a goal kick. Yadira Estrada sets it up for the kick. Knocks it away towards midfield, far sideline. Saints keep working on forward. It's Litzy Mendez. Mendez rolls it ahead into the box and picked up by Samantha Took. She's been playing up high in that box, and so that time she got to the ball quickly. Olivet quick counter attack. It's Katie Canute on the near sideline. Pushing it ahead, deflected by Giallo into the middle of the field. Petrowski back towards the sideline for Mariquin. Petrowski pushes back into the box, and Haley Hogue watches that find its way to the feet of Yadira Estrada. And Estrada gets it back out to midfield. Looking for Valeria Valles Garcia. Taken away by the Tigers, Abby Cash. Intercepted by Pokolski, but right back to Olivet. Cleared once again by the Saints. Into the box again, though, from Olivet. Buda. Knocked away from Buda. Good defensive play by Angelina Rodriguez. Tigers try once more, and this time Yadira Estrada is there to pick it up. 17 minutes to play in this game. St. Francis's defense continues to play very well, but they need to generate some offense now very soon if they want to have any chance in this game. Buda taps it back. Garcia into the middle of the field, and Anderson. Marissa Anderson rolls it to the outside. Abby Cash. Cash's pass towards Buda is nearly intercepted, but instead just deflected over to Janine Valera, who passes back to the defense and allows Allison Lee to set things up from the back line. Lee to Anderson across the midfield circle. To the near sideline, deflected by Grace Giallo and right out of bounds. Sarah Leukinger is back in. Sarah Buda checks out, so they keep their Sarah quota on the field even as Buda leaves. Still one out there at all times. Abby Cash. Back towards midfield. It's Garcia. Alejandra Garcia goes back to the defensive end once again. And there's Kelly Petrowski taking it away from Anderson. Petrowski tries to roll it through to Valles Garcia and can't quite reach her. So Olivet sends it the other way. Madison Hanyon on the defensive side for the Fighting Saints. Rolls it to Yadira Estrada, and Estrada is able to clear it downfield. Anderson loses possession to Mendez. Under the foot of Cash, a mistake made by her, and Mariquin is there to clean it up. Mariquin pushes along the sideline, but nobody there in white. Valles Garcia tries to chase it down, but Lee got there first. Now the ball from Tuke, intercepted by Mariquin, and Abby Cash steps in. Nice defense by Abby Cash to take that ball off the foot of Mariquin and keep St. Francis from getting a good shot off. Instead, the Saints will hold on to possession. They'll get a throw in down deep in the far corner. But for an instant, it looked like they might have their best shot at scoring today. Olivia De La Rosa comes out, and Alexa Valencia Corona, senior transfer from Heartland Community College, is back in. Garcia lets it go out of bounds, never touched it, and did not allow Valencia Corona to get there. So it's out to Olivet with 14 minutes to go in the game. Garcia tosses along the sideline, headed back by St. Francis, and kicked out of bounds by Olivet. Tossed inbounds. Abby Cash heads it once, trying to control it along the sideline, rolled ahead and kept in bounds. Mitzi Mendez works to get it back towards the sideline. Here's Rodriguez, deflected out. Angelina Rodriguez runs into Alejandra Garcia, and Garcia knocks it out the back line. And for the first time today, St. Francis has themselves a corner kick. Trying to tie the score. Alexis Mariquin will take the kick. Here it comes. Goes in front post and headed away. Abby Cash was the one, I think, who got her head on that ball and knocks it up that snow pile on the far side of the field, that big black snowbank. Slowly melting on this 50-degree day in late February. Madison Hanyon tosses it in, headed back by Olivet, and I think offsides was called. We're going the other direction. Nope, it was not offsides. It's an illegal throw. So Olivet gets the throw in now. Marissa Anderson nearly taken away by Litzy Mendez. She keeps it alive, liking her. Valera pushes downfield. Knocked away and out of bounds. Haley Hogue got in the way of that ball. Under 12 minutes on the clock. Leukinger looks towards the net. Takes the shot. Estrada's there to make the stop. Hard shot by Sarah Leukinger, who is not afraid to take those from way outside the box, but despite the velocity on the shot, still a pretty easy save for Yadira Estrada, right to her. Kept alive by Valles Garcia. Here comes Valencia Corona. Leukinger gets in her way. Valencia Corona still alive. She taps it back and out of bounds, tipped out by Julie Herman. It was Herman's goal way back in the 6th minute that provided our only offense today. Aside from that, it's been very quiet. But Olivet in position to pick up another win here at St. Francis. They've had a lot of success here, and they've had a lot of success in general against the Saints. The Fighting Saints have beaten the Tigers just once in the last 15 years. It came back in the fall of 2017. Madison Hanyon tosses it in, headed once and cleared by Leuchinger. Out of bounds. Hanyon inbounds it once more. And we'll need to do it again, this time going the other way. Got some subs coming on for Olivet. Sarah Buda is back in, Camille Cody is back in, and Kelsey Reed is back on the field. Looks like Valera and Anderson are coming out, along with Garcia. So most of the starters are back out there for Bill Barr's side. Bill Barr in his 22nd season as the head coach of the Olivet Nazarene Tigers, and with under 10 minutes to play in the second half, he is in position to claim a winning record so far this year as Olivet tries to improve to 2-1. Abby Cash deflected back the other way, and here come the Saints. Valencia Corona pushed off for Valles Garcia. She can't get to it. Deflected back towards Valencia Corona, but knocked out of bounds by Olivet. Angelina Rodriguez tosses the ball off to Madison Hanyon. Let's Hanyon throw it in, as is her designated responsibility. Tossed into the box and cleared by the Tigers. Buda gets it around Valles Garcia. Over to the near side, Cash. Cash ahead for Cody. She is tripped up by Grace Giallo. She loses the ball out of bounds. And they are going to call a foul here on Giallo. So a free kick for Olivet. Kick is off. And off the foot of Herman over to Lindquist. Lindquist deflected by Mendez. Saints trying to turn it upfield. Petrowski into the middle and can't find Valencia Corona. Taken away by Mendez again, but again, right back to Olivet. Leuchinger. Her pass intercepted. But the Saints again are not able to take over possession with now under 8 minutes to play. Buda to Leuchinger. Leuchinger going one-on-one with Petrowski, turns to the left and loses the ball as it's deflected by a St. Francis defender. There's Katie Canute rolling it into the box, or at least to the front of it. Lindquist. Now a shot is saved by Yadira Estrada. Janine Valera attempted that one, and Estrada was able to make the stop. She's been in position to do that most of the game. Just that one goal from Herman. A little floater that she put over the head of Yadira Estrada for the first and only goal of the game, and with 7 minutes to play, it's still the only goal. St. Francis would like to change that here. Got to take out all the stops offensively now and just keep that pressure on. Knocked out of bounds, or towards the sideline anyway. Stays in bounds. Kara Jacobs keeps it alive for Olivet. Booted to Leuchinger in the middle of the field. Leuchinger works her way off to her right. Pushes ahead for Camille Cody. Out in front of Cody. Yadira Estrada steps in. It's outside the box as she finally gets there, and she knocks it out of bounds with the foot. Nothing else she could do there. It was out of her jurisdiction to pick up the ball, and so it's out for a throw-in. And deflected quickly out by Olivet. Now a goal kick for St. Francis, and the Fighting Saints are in a position now where they have to hurry. Olivia De La Rosa comes back in for the Saints. 6 minutes to play. No time to waste as they try to get another attack going. Angelina Rodriguez is the one who comes out for Olivia De La Rosa. Buddha back behind midfield. It's Abby Cash. Cash moving off to the left. Rolls it ahead, and Saints are able to knock it away. Pekulski keeps alive down the sideline. Nice individual run here for Lauren Pekulski, but she finally runs out of steam as Abby Cash takes the ball away and rolls it off beyond the sideline. That allows the rest of the Tigers defense to get back and in position. Olivia De La Rosa throws it in. Tapped right back to De La Rosa. De La Rosa deflected towards the back line and out of bounds. It's a corner kick. 5 minutes to go. St. Francis has a corner kick, down by 1. Second time today they've found themselves down in that corner. And this time it's Kelly Petrowski taking the kick. It's a low line drive and knocked out of bounds by the Saints. A goal kick this time. I think it was Litzy Mendez who got her foot on it. And one of the better looks at a shot all game for St. Francis, but this one went wide and out of bounds. Buddha passes back. Here's Allison Lee. Pass deflected by Mendez. Saints turn briefly, but lost in a hurry as Samantha Took, the goalkeeper, picks up the ball. Fighting Saints played their first 2 games this year on the road. Their next 2 will be on the road as well, as there's the shot and it's a little bit wide. Good look there, but off to the left. 4 of their first 5 games on the road, this one home oasis that they have. They didn't want to waste it, and they haven't wasted it necessarily, but they're not winning. And they're running out of time here with just 3 minutes and 20 seconds to play. They played well for the most part, but so has Olivet. And Olivet has dominated the time of possession. Out of bounds. Throw in for St. Francis. Giallo working quickly. In for Mariquin. Past her to Valles Garcia. And knocked out of bounds by St. Francis this time. A contrast in styles in this 1-goal game. St. Francis was in a hurry. Olivet taking their time. Mariquin lifts that ball into the middle. Knocked away by the team in purple. Intercepted by Mariquin. There's Mariquin's cross to De La Rosa. De La Rosa heads it to keep it alive, does it again, and now loses it. Knocked away by Cash. There's Grace Giallo stepping up from the back line. Hanyon. Knocked away from her by Leukinger. Just 2.5 minutes to go. Here's Valera. Valera looks to her right, pulls back. Mariquin trying to muscle her off the ball, and she's called for the foul. That means that not only does Olivet get the free kick, but they run some more time off the clock as Leukinger sends it into the middle of the field. Jacobs down near the sideline. Knocked away by St. Francis's defense. Olivet gets it back to the middle of the field. Lindquist fires a shot and scores. And that should most likely do it for Olivet Nazarene as Susanna Lindquist scores with just 1 minute and 36 seconds remaining. They got one early, and now they've gotten one late. Susanna Lindquist scores her first goal of the season. Two to nothing, Olivet. Now St. Francis really has to move quickly as Giallo's Ball is deflected out by Abby Cash. Shallow tosses it in again. Here's Valles Garcia. Worked off the ball. And a whistle. Foul on Olivet. Approaching the 1 minute mark here. Tigers now up by 2 after that goal from the outside. Scored by Susanna Lindquist. A good shot from Lindquist.
1 minute and a half.
Here's Petrowski's kick. Petrowski tries to put it right on target, and it is saved by Samantha Took. So Petrowski from long range decides to go on goal on her free kick. Not a bad looking ball, but saved by Took. Another chance for St. Francis here. Valles Garcia taps it to the outside. Mariquin. Mariquin takes the shot, and Took makes another save. So with their backs up against the wall in the final minute and now down by 2 goals, St. Francis finally starts to put some attacks together, but looks like too little too late as they're not able to put one in on Took. She clears it across midfield, and that should just about do it for this game as clock is down to 15 seconds now. St. Francis knocks it out of bounds, and Olivet doesn't necessarily even really need to throw it in. They'll get it in and run down the clock then. Cash knocked out by Giallo, and that's all she wrote today. St. Francis goes down to Olivet Nazarene by a final score of 2-0. A valiant effort by the Fighting Saints, but in the end just not enough offensive firepower as their defense played strong the entire game. Olivet was able to get one on a soft shot from Julie Herman early, and then they played with that 1-goal lead the entire game until very late. With just about a minute and a half remaining, Susanna Lindquist added another goal, and that put St. Francis down for the count. But the Fighting Saints fought hard today. Their defense was up to the task for almost the entire game against an Olivet Nazarene team that looked very polished on the offensive end. Good ball control, just not able to finish most of their attacks. They finally finished one at the end and put the game away. A quick scoring recap once again. Julie Herman got the scoring started in the 6th minute as she poked one in from close range in the box, and in the 89th minute it was Susanna Lindquist putting the game away with that long shot from the left side of the field and making it 2-0. That would turn out to be the final score as Olivet improves their record on the season to 2-1. Tigers will be back at it at Governor's State next weekend. Their first home game is finally coming up on March 6th against Judson. St. Francis falls to 1-2 with the loss, still looking for their first goal since starting up the new spring season. They scored 3 times in their one fall game against Indiana Northwest, but now losers 4-0 at St. Ambrose last week and 2-0 at home today against Olivet Nazarene. So they've got a lot to play for as they go back on the road next weekend. They'll see Judson, not next weekend, actually on Wednesday, sorry. And on Wednesday they are at Judson, and they'll try to get back on the winning side in that one and back on the scoring side as well. Their next home game is not until March 9th, so about a week and a half away. They'll play a 1 o'clock in the afternoon game against Governor's State. I take that back. No, I don't take it back. March 9th, Governor's State, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the next time they play at home. We've got more home soccer today. It's not the women's side, but the St. Francis men's team is coming up in just a couple of minutes. At about 3:30, we'll have the men's game, St. Francis against Olivet. Please join us for that, and join us next time the women's play at home on March 9th. For right now, I'll take a timeout. For the time being, it's Terry Bonadonna signing off after a 2-0 St. Francis loss to Olivet Nazarene. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.